My colleagues like to lead us in.
Recording in progress.
I heard a couple of sure's. Whoever gets to it first. I think Trustee Munson, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We'll continue with introductions. I'll start with myself. I'm John Horner, trustee and board president. And to my right, please.
Veronica Andrade, board vice president, trustee.
Hi, Sarah Northrop Gaddis, trustee and clerk.
Jennifer Marquez, trustee.
Good evening, Rebecca Munson, trustee.
Good evening, welcome, Pamela Gardner, trustee.
Nancy Altman, trustee for the TA1.
Good evening, Carmen Garcia, superintendent. I would like to address our Spanish-speaking community. A nuestra comunidad tenemos traducción simultánea. Por favor, hagan clic en el icono del mundo debajo de la pantalla. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Good evening, buenas noches. Diana Jimenez, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Good evening, Colbert Chang, Assistant Superintendent of Business.
Hi, everyone. I'm Diana Taveras, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome to those of you here in person with us and also joining us on Zoom. Now we'll move to item D, adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
I motion that we adopt the agenda.
Thank you, Vice President Andrada. Thank you, Clerk Munson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. All right, we're moving on to item E, our closed session action report. In closed session, the board voted to approve unanimously the appointment of 2 elementary principals. We'll now turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Tavares to introduce said people.
Hello, I'd like to introduce first Miss Sheila Murphy. Sheila, will you please join us at the podium? Dr. Sheila Murphy is thrilled to be joining Barrett Elementary School with a doctorate in educational leadership, 2 master's degrees, and over 20 years of experience working in education. Dr. Murphy brings a wealth of proven experience in significantly increasing English language learner reclassification rates and successfully implementing positive behavioral intervention and supports, PBIS, and restorative justice practices. Her passion for educating the hearts and minds, coupled with her data-driven leadership and unwavering commitment to equity and inclusion, makes her eager to bring these transformative approaches to the students, staff, and families of Barrett Elementary and contribute to the vibrant educational landscape of her beloved Morgan Hill community, where she enjoys life with her husband, 3 adult sons, 2 grandchildren, and over 90 rescue animals. I introduce to you Dr. Sheila Murphy.
Make sure the little green light's on. Mostly so our Zoom friends can hear you. Right at the top middle.
Thank you, Julie.
Oh, there we go. I think I got it. Thank you.
There we go.
I just wanted to say thank you to the board for the approval tonight, and I'm really excited to get started.
We're delighted to have you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we had the opportunity to meet in closed session before the not close vote. It likes unanimous. All right. Our second principal, I think is on Zoom. Is that right? There she is, Ms. Lasher.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
Jennifer
everyone.
Lashier is honored and excited to join the Paradise Valley Engineering Academy and Morgan Hill Unified School District community as your new principal. Throughout her 25-year career, she has been guided by a deep commitment to equity, inclusion, and a belief that every child deserves a joyful, inspiring, and rigorous education. Dr. Lashier is drawn to Paradise Valley's innovative focus on technology, hands-on learning, and the engineering design process. And she shares the school's dedication to nurturing the whole child in a supportive, child-centered environment. She looks forward to partnering with Paradise Valley's talented staff, engaging families, and vibrant students to build on the school's tradition of excellence, empowering every learner to think critically, embrace curiosity, and reach their full potential. She will work, she will work to foster a culture of respect, collaboration, and high expectations, ensuring that all students are prepared to thrive as compassionate, creative problem solvers and positive contributors to the diverse global society. With that, I introduce to you Dr. Jennifer Lashier.
Good evening, everyone. I also would like to thank the board for your approval, and I look forward to the work ahead.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Very good. That closes item E, the closed session action report. Item F, recognitions and presentations. We have none this evening, other than recognizing all of you for being here. Thank you very much. Item G, 1, approval of minutes from the board meeting of June 10th. Do we have a motion? Sorry, who was that? Thank you, Trustee Munson. Do we have a second? Thank you, Vice President. Oh, I heard one over here too. Okay, Vice President Andrade. All in favor? In favor? I'm ready for the July break, folks. Please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. Now we're on item 2 in that section, the minutes from the special board meeting, our board retreat of June 16th. Do we have a motion on that item?
Actually, I have something I want to clarify on that before we move to vote on that, please.
What's your question or comment?
My question or comment is, so my recollection of the meeting was in section board procedures processes, and moving the meeting to Thursday, we had the stipulation during the board retreat that we would still get the agendas on Friday. That's not mentioned in here. Everything else is mentioned in here. So I'd like to be clear, please, on when the expectation is to be.
We're still expecting publication of the agendas on Friday. To answer your question, the agenda prep will be on Tuesdays. It's mostly been on Mondays and sometimes on Tuesdays, so we're going to set that on Tuesdays. But yes.
Okay, so can we please amend this to include that?
Who made, I heard a motion here. You accept that? Okay, so Trustee Munson accepts the amendment to also note that agendas will still be published on Fridays. Okay, yeah, you just say you accept that amendment? Okay, then Trustee Munson, then do we have a second? Second, Trustee Altman, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Okay, that carries unanimously. Now we're on item H, public comment and communications. Members of the public may address the board on topics not listed on the agenda. However, the board may not discuss issues raised which are not listed on the agenda. Topics not on the agenda brought to our attention may be investigated by the administration as appropriate, and comments by visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes. So I see, let's see, well, we have, I think, one person on Zoom and 1, 2, 3, 4 in person. So we'll start with the in-person. Carla Torres. Thank you. And do we have our 3-minute timer here?
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, School Board of Trustees, Superintendent Dr. Garcia. My name is Carla Torres, and I'm representing the Silicon Valley San Jose NAACP. I'm back today to follow up on the issue of racism where the high school students wrote the N-word in a yearbook. I want to start by publicly thanking the superintendent for meeting with the NAACP president and myself regarding the issue, and acknowledge the efforts to date and work in progress. We would like to continue the dialogue and bring up additional concerns that we're realizing, and one being accountability for the principal that was on site. It's important to address this because it has to do with safety. And we'd like to request that there is a review of the policy that you have on hate speech. We know you have one, but we want you to consider amending it. One of the words used in the yearbook was N-word killers, which raises concerns of safety. And these words should equate to words that alert potential threats or shootings. And that's not what happened. It wasn't addressed till days later, 4 days, I think, later from when the incident happened, from the principal. Some of the leaders of the NAACP are currently working on a policy revision at Yerba Buena High School. We'd be willing to meet with you all and whoever else is needed to work on amending your policy on hate speech so that these incidents are addressed and doesn't happen again. We look forward to working with you all to ensure physical safety and psychological well-being for all students, specifically students of color. And I want to acknowledge the students that brought the incident to light and remind everyone in the community to always speak up against hate speech. And lastly, personally say that I hope that you approve the superintendent employment contract. I see it's on your agenda. We need her to continue the good work she's doing, the good work in the academic progress of students of color, but also the continued collaboration with all of us in community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Next, we have Lori Land, I believe also here in person. I'm gonna go to, he's on Zoom. I'm gonna do Zoom last.
Good evening.
Welcome.
I'm here to say that I would like you to vote no on renewing the superintendent's contract. As has been shown in our local newspaper, our district is in a huge financial mess and teacher morale is at an all-time low. We need to go to a new direction and focus on the kids and getting this district in better shape. Aside from the financial abuse and mismanagement her leadership she's brought ruin and disarray to our children's education experience. Please vote no on renewing her contract.
Thank you, Ms. Land. Next, we have Kathy Chavez Napoli. I think I see you here.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent, and Community. As I look around the room, I can see that most of you were not around in the 80s when my children were going to school. So if you want to talk about disarray and racism and all those other unpleasant things that go on, that's when it really happened. I've seen it with my children, I've seen it with other children, and I know what it looks like. I also know how it feels. As a Native American who was not taught about my culture, my heritage, or my language, I know what it feels like not to be acknowledged. So we currently have a superintendent that is inclusive of all the students. For one parent or a small group of parents to try and blame the superintendent for the economic challenges that we have, then all you have to do is look at every educational system. All of us are having challenges, all of us, including the city of Morgan Hill that is facing a $5 million budget deficit. So to blame one person or one program is incorrect. And if you haven't been here, you don't see that we have absolutely improved in the way that our children feel. They feel welcome, they feel inclusive, no matter what color they are. Now, I know all of you were elected and you all swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. I've heard you say when you say the Pledge of Allegiance, justice and equality for all. I'm hoping that swearing in when you said yes, you're going to uphold the Constitution, that you really believe it, because everything is not about the teachers, it's not about the parents, it's about the students. And as long as you remember that, you will always support people who encourage, support, and motivate our students. With over 60% of our community enrollment in the schools, children of color. They are our future. Who do you think is going to take care of you if you don't support them, if they're not educated? You need to support them now, and you have the ability to vote for a good superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person we have in person is Ju Kawarami. Did I say that correctly? Please. Okay. It was the handwriting, not yours, wasn't clear. Thank you.
It was,
Please.
good evening. I would like this board to vote no for extending the contract for the superintendent. Under this superintendent, this district has seen steep financial decline, depleting once healthy reserves to below board policy levels, mirroring her fiscal mismanagement in her previous district. Under her leadership, staff morale has plummeted with unprecedented turnover and loss of experienced leaders and skilled teachers. Despite her frequent self-promotion, student achievement has declined in areas and stagnated in others. Not surprising, given the loss of teachers and leaders that make the true difference in students' learning. This is why I ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. I will want to remind the audience that this is a time for public comment. You can speak publicly, but throughout the meeting, if you have other conversations to have or noises to make, please take it outside so we can continue in an orderly fashion. Seeing no other in-person public comment requests, we'll move to Zoom. Raimundo Armendariz. Mr. Armendariz.
Good evening, board members. Good evening, superintendent. I am here again. I came to the last board meeting to bring to light and to the attention of the board a situation of a hate crime that happened on the campus of Ann Sobrado High School.
Get any more volume in the room? Oh, we can hear him.
Can everybody hear me?
I'm sorry. Ask you to pause 1 second just because we're having some volume trouble in the room. We'll let you restart here in a second, Mr. Armendariz.
Okay.
Can we get a little more volume? Please try now.
Okay. Can you all hear me? Can everybody hear
Better.
me? Okay.
Go ahead.
So, good evening, everybody. Good evening, board. Good evening, superintendent. The reason I'm here tonight is I just wanted to come back to the council to bring it to light and to the attention of the board, a situation of a hate crime that happened on campus. I say hate crime versus hate speech because of what was written in a yearbook before the graduation of this year's graduating class from Ann Sobrado High School. There was some definitely some hate speech, but also there was the insinuation of using violence against a protected group. For those who don't know, N-word with a hard R as well as killer was written, as well as the swastika put in a yearbook that was shared amongst a group of students on campus at Ann Sobrado High School. So the reason I'm coming again today is because there's a couple things that were not resolved in the time that has elapsed since the last time we spoke on June 3rd. And that is two things. One is the exoneration of the young woman who blew the whistle and brought to light this situation that reported and complained and posted on social media this hate speech that was written and this hate crime that was committed on campus. And two, the administration has not been held accountable. And so tonight, the reason I'm coming to speak to you all today is to please request that the board investigate and the superintendent investigate. And please, consider a couple things. One is that the school principal and school administration is as accountable as students are as accountable, especially considering that they are professionals, they're adults, and they are given the responsibility of ensuring the safety of over 1,500 students on campus. And so as a former parent of kids who graduated from Ann Sobrado High School, it's definitely a concern for me. And also to share that we are going to be connecting those students with a legal counsel. I've been in conversation with our legal counsel. And so we are going to be seeking some type of remedy for this student. But please, would like to bring the attention to that situation and see if we can possibly get some type of change in policy as well as accountability for the school administration. Thank you.
Sorry, thank you, Mr. Armendariz. Now on Zoom, we have Jessica Pacheco. I believe.
Hello to the board and to our community. My name is Jessica Pacheco, and I am a social worker, concerned community member, and somebody who graduated from Live Oak High School. I've lived in this district, I've gotten through the schools, and I care deeply about the well-being of our students and our community. And so this is why I bring up the incident as well about the hate speech in the Sobrato yearbook, which included the N-word, the words "stay Nazi," and a swastika, which was seen and drawn and written during school hours on school grounds. The individual who photographed this and put this on social media was reprimanded, while the students who wrote these things were allowed to walk during graduation. I want to highlight that this isn't just a failure of judgment, it's a failure to enforce existing policy. According to the Sobrato's own code of conduct, hate speech and hate-motivated incidents are supposed to result in referral to law enforcement, a 1 to 5 day suspension, and possibly expulsion. The school also has a rule that students involved in certain serious infractions can automatically lose extracurricular privileges, including graduation, for at least 6 weeks. Hate speech is not currently included on that list, but I am of the opinion that it absolutely should be. Instead of applying the consequences to the students who engaged in this harmful behavior, the person who posted it on social media was reprimanded, and I believe that this student deserves an apology, and hopefully this can be expunged from their records. Additionally, I and other people as well with me request that the school board consider adding hate speech to the list of disqualifying offenses for extracurricular and graduation participation, as well as enforce existing disciplinary procedures fairly and consistently, because this is literally in the handbook. Hold administrators accountable for failing to follow protocol, including disciplinary review if warranted, and require formal reporting of all hate-motivated incidents to both the school resource officer and the district office. As we all know, Morgan Hill has a long and painful history of racial tensions, which we don't have to go into, but if we want to build school culture rooted in equity, inclusion, and student safety, we need policies that reflect that and leadership brave enough to enforce that. I want to echo concerns shared by other families and students about broader issues. You know, we need to make sure that policy is being followed. There's a school book, a handbook for a reason. So there's other things that I've heard concerns about, such as vape pens, weed pens, and alcohol on campus, and policy on and procedures on that are not being followed as well. So I urge the board to take this seriously and not just respond to this incident, but to lead with the integrity, transparency, and accountability that our students and community deserve. Thank you.
Turning this off to stop the echoes. We have Cindy Ramirez on Zoom. Ooh. You turn my mic down, that'll help some. Thank you. Ms. Ramirez?
We asked her to unmute.
Waiting on unmute. The joys of Zoom.
Hola.
There, we hear you.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Sandy Ramírez. Estoy aquí para brindar mi apoyo a la extensión del contrato de la superintendente doctora García por un año más. La superintendente ha demostrado su firme compromiso con la comunidad y el éxito académico de sus estudiantes, su gran liderazgo a la equidad y la inclusión, el rendimiento académico y la participación de los padres. Ha impulsado el proceso y el éxito en nuestro distrito y empoderado a nuestra comunidad para defender nuestros derechos. Es un camino aún largo por recorrer, pero su liderazgo es clave para continuar manteniendo el rumbo que está tomando nuestro distrito. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Cindy, tenemos traducción. Corina o la doctora Jiménez va a poder traducir para que la mesa directiva entienda lo que les dijiste. ¿Sale? We can have her repeat it and then stop.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Cindy, ¿puedes repetir y parar después de
Cada oración.
cada oración para que Corina traduzca? We're asking Cindy to repeat so that Corina can translate for everybody.
Ok. Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Sandy Ramírez.
Good afternoon. My name is Cindy Ramirez.
Estoy aquí para brindar mi apoyo a la extensión del contrato de la superintendente, doctora García,
I'm here to offer my support to extend the contract for Dr. Garcia, Superintendent,
por un año más.
for another year.
La superintendente ha demostrado su firme compromiso con la comunidad
The superintendent has demonstrated her firm commitment to the community
y el éxito académico de sus estudiantes.
and the academic success of our students.
Su gran liderazgo a la equidad y la inclusión
Her great leadership towards equity and inclusion,
el rendimiento académico y la participación de los padres
academic achievement, and parent participation
ha impulsado el proceso y el éxito en nuestro distrito
has impelled the success of the district
y empoderado a nuestra comunidad para defender nuestros derechos.
and empowered our community to defend our rights.
Es un camino aún largo por recorrer,
It is a long-term journey,
pero su liderazgo es clave para continuar manteniendo
but her leadership is key to maintain
el rumbo que está tomando nuestro distrito. Gracias.
the route that our district is taking. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. And that concludes our public comment period. We'll move on to item I1, report from the superintendent.
Thank you very much, President Horner. Before I officially get started on my superintendent update, I would like to thank Carla and also Sean, the president of the NAACP. We had a very productive meeting, and we will continue to work together on many of the ideas that we talked about. And I am especially interested in the work that the NAACP is leading with Yerba Buena, and I've already made some inquiries into Eastside Union High School District. So thank you to our partners in the NAACP, and we look forward to the work ahead. With respect to my update, just a few updates since our last board meeting 2 weeks ago. Our adult school graduation is always incredibly empowering and uplifting. And I join the board in congratulating our adult learners in our community and congratulate them for achieving this great accomplishment. So congratulations to each and every one of them. And Principal/Director Sapien, thank you for your leadership as well in supporting our adults and giving them many opportunities for their bright futures. I also want to join ESD Educational Support Division in a conclusion over a couple of days, thanking our hardworking administrators at our sites and also our hardworking directors and coordinators, so on and so forth. And so the focus was around elevating their wonderful accomplishments throughout the year. And so deep appreciation to our administrators for their hard work over the year. I'm also a board member for California ASCD, and one of my hats is to advocate on behalf of education and advocate on behalf of our educators. And so I'm happy to have represented us and California ASCD in a recent trip to Sacramento. Also, Parent University courses are ongoing. We're very proud of our parent outreach efforts, and so help us spread the word that Parent University continues to be a very powerful tool that we're using to empower our adults in our community. And so basic level English and Spanish classes are available. So those that want to learn how to speak Spanish, come and join our free classes. We ended the school year, but we didn't really. We had 1 week of break, and so this week we concluded our first week in summer school. So congratulations to our happy, joyful learners and our K-8 TK through 8 program, and also we have a credit recovery at the high school as well. And this is our 3rd or 4th year, I can't remember, partnering with the Silicon Valley Tech Academy. This is amazing. So this is a series of summer courses where students learn engineering skills. And the 3rd level, for those that have already participated for the past 2 years, they get to go to San Jose State and learn from professors. So we're very proud of this program. And this concludes my report. Happy summer, everyone. See you in August.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Now move on to our employee group reports. Do we have anyone for the Morgan Hill Classified Employees Association? I don't think so. Okay, so then we'll move to the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers. President Levis.
Thank you. Good evening, President Horner, Board Trustee, Superintendent Garcia, staff and guests. I am Jim Levis, the proud president of the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers. While the minutes of the June 16th board retreat report that the board voted 4-3 to give the superintendent a satisfactory evaluation, I noticed item K9 on the agenda, consideration and approval of amendment to term of the superintendent's employment contract. I looked for an attachment so that I could fully understand what the amendment is, but unfortunately there was no attachment. I emailed the superintendent and her assistant on Sunday night to ask for the amendment and then followed up with a voice message on Monday afternoon. I finally received a response from the superintendent just before 1 p.m. today indicating that the amendment would be made available this afternoon. Unfortunately, I have not seen the amendment attached to the agenda as of 5:30. Without knowing the content of the amendment, there is no way that anyone can make a public comment regarding this agenda item. I'm very concerned that when there is an agenda item regarding an amendment to the contract of the superintendent with no information attached and presented 2.5 weeks after the end of the school year is a concern. I realize that the board is looking to finalize the superintendent's contract by June 30th and that an oral reading of contract changes is permissible. But both of those factors make public comment very difficult. And when there is seemingly absence of transparency, people will make their assumptions as to why this is done in this manner. The board and the district talk about transparency. Unfortunately, I do not see any here. The MHFT and MHUSD negotiation teams plan to continue meeting over the summer in an effort to reach tentative agreements on the still outstanding articles under discussion. I remain hopeful that the commitment and efforts of the certificate employees who are not currently recognized in our contract will be acknowledged upon the collective finalization and ratification of this agreement. And finally, as I indicated at the last board meeting, I am stepping down as the president of MHFT at the end of the month, so this will be my last meeting as president. Kiewei Nguyen will be taking over on July 1st and will be most often representing MHFT during our board meeting reporting time moving forward. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ms. Levis. For the Morgan Hill Educational Leaders Association, do we have Mr. Buxer? No? I hope he's off enjoying himself somewhere. Yeah, very good. So that closes that item. We're on item I3, board member reports. Board members, anybody have something to report? Vice President Andrade, please.
I attended the community adult school graduation ceremony. Super emotional. I just wanted to express my appreciation for director, principal, Sapien, right? 2 hats, right?
You got 2 jobs.
And just one of the things that really resonated with me being there was the English teacher. I believe it was an English teacher that was there, one of the faculty members, counselors, just the connection she had with the students. And it was really, really, it's a great reminder of why we do what we do. And yeah, that was it. And then the other thing was I would encourage anyone to, because it's Pride Month, to go see Prom the Musical downtown Morgan Hill at South Valley Community Theater. There's a couple of Sobrato students in it. It is Starts at 8, so you won't get out of there till 11. But definitely for teens, 16, 17, 18, great story, great production, and emotional and humorous at the same time.
Wonderful, thank you. Trustee Altman, please.
Thank you. One's a little sketchy. There's some interesting legislation that hopefully I'm sure, President Horner, you're up on, some dealing with charter school oversight. One bill is looking, I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers. I was running late today, but I do have them at home so I can share them out. One is a bill that's looking at closing teacher pay gap. The gap for similarly educated professionals has tripled in the past 10 years. And looking at trying to pull teacher pay in line with others who have comparable educational levels. And I also helped out last weekend at the Edward Boss Prado Juneteenth clothing giveaway, and it's just a real in-your-face reminder. Students who need clothing, without the very basic necessities, it's really hard to learn if you're really self-conscious about what you're wearing. And I think we're just lucky to have this resource going on in town. And there were hundreds of families there, 350 pairs of shoes had to be matched up with a person. People couldn't just come and take shoes. And all of the new shoes were gone quickly. So there is still a huge need in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Trustee Northrup Gaddis, please.
I went to the Personnel Commission meeting, and one of the members' term is going to be up soon. So they let me know that and said they would be reaching out to you to let you know. There's new classified union leadership. Alicia Garcia and as president, and then Kim Dean as vice president. Staffing is going very well. One of the best years for filling positions. There was a great retirement party for classified staff, and they're continuing to review rules and regs. And then also for the Morgan Hill Education Foundation, another board member from that group and I went to Friday Night Music, and it was super fun. And the booth next to us was a jujitsu kickboxing studio called Paragon, and they were really interested in working with us. So I let them know I would pass that on. And that's all I've got.
Wonderful, thank you. Anyone else? I don't see anyone reaching for their mic or for their hand.
Team building exercise. There we go.
Just a brief report for myself then. A ditto on the adult school graduation. I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but that's always the one that gets me the most because these are students that every one of them have, faced extraordinary challenges in life, and through a commitment to hard work and education are doing their next step. Broad range of ages and stories, but it's always very moving to be there. I love all the graduations. That's the one that always gets me the most teared up. And then this past Saturday, happened to be in town here, a coffee chat with Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas. He's also our Assembly member covering kind of San Martin and down. He used to have our whole area, but so he was there both speaking and answering questions. And then Gail Pellerin, who is the Assembly member, she happens to live in the Santa Cruz area and covers most of our region. So interesting dialogue. Of course, it wasn't just about education, though that's all I was focused on. But the ongoing debates between the legislature and the governor over what the budget will be and how that's going to affect schools, that is very much still in play. A decade ago by now we would know, but now we don't know. I mean, the indications are that probably what's going to come out will be more favorable for ADA schools like ourselves than the last thing we've seen out of the legislature, but that's still to be determined. So later tonight, we have a budget presentation, but we know that things are going to change, and indications are hopefully the revenue picture will improve, but who knows? And then the other thing they were both, of course, very concerned about, and nobody knows, is what is the federal government going to do or not do, and how will that affect our state? A lot of the concerns there are specifically around healthcare and health coverage, because that's such a huge part of the expense at the state and county level, but everything affects everything. So and one of the things Speaker Rivas said was this has been the hardest legislative year for him personally that he's experienced, having been a county supervisor and doing this job for a while. He said, this is by far the most difficult and challenging year ever, and it's not even half over. So people are certainly feeling the weight of the many decisions, but I do know that our leaders still very much have education in their hearts and in their heads, just a question of what's in their pockets. And that concludes my report. Okay. I don't see any other board member reports. Don't want to skip anybody over. So our next item is a calendar of upcoming events. Those are attached to the agenda for your review. And with that said, I will move on to item J, consent items. Do we have any requests to pull any items from consent?
Yes, I would like to pull J3A and J3B.
That's the Biola University and
Correct. I have a
construction-
question about that, and then
Okay, so 3A and 3B, any others? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the remainder? Oh, sorry, trustee Gardner?
Yes, can I pull J1A? I have a question about it.
That's the agreement with Santa Clara County Office of Education? Okay, okay. So we have those three items. Do we have a motion to approve the remainder?
I move that we approve the remainder.
Thank you, Trustee Altman, for the motion. Thank you, Vice President Andrade, for the second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? We got a long meeting to go here
I
tonight.
know, this is a long,
And people on Zoom can't hear you with your mic. Where is there?
I'm trying to find it. The consent items, that just covered 1, 2, and 3, 4? or
1,
what
2,
did we
3, and
just-
4.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had a vote if you want to say nay or abstain, but we've,
Then I'll just abstain.
okay, so please note the abstention. All right, so we'll go back, as is our practice, to the three items that have been skipped. 1A, there was a question about 1A, the agreement with Santa Clara County Office of Education.
Thank you. This one is the one I pulled. I just a question. I know that in the MOU, I believe it said it would be a cost of $70,000 for that position. And the questions that were answered by Superintendent Garcia, there wasn't a dollar amount attributed to what we're currently paying, if I understood the answer correctly. It was a 0.25 and a 0.5. So can I just get some clarity in reconciling those amounts? Because I'm wondering what it's like, where the return on investment is, if it's 70,000 versus how much we're paying now, and what the thoughts are and when we might expect to see that.
So would you like Assistant Superintendent Chang to take it on, or you want Dr. Garcia?
I'll start and then maybe, yeah.
Okay, please.
So we, thank you for your question, Trustee Gardner. We are the recipients of a grant to be able to create the infrastructure so that we can begin billing for Medi-Cal and private insurance. And so with those grant dollars, we're currently paying for 0.25 of a schooling services coordinator to help with that coordination, as well as 0.5 of I always want to say budget analyst, but it's accounting specialist. I always want to say accounting specialist. So right now, this is not costing the district anything. They're grant funded. And this MOU is to help us with technical support, as well as the use of the program that the county has created for us to bill for Medi-Cal. And just so if I can just share for the rest of the board and the community here present, this has the potential to bring in a lot of money at full build-out. Can't really not in a position to tell you the actual amount of a lot of money, but it will be money that will help us pay for long-term wellness centers and therapists, so on and so forth. But in short, we're not using the general fund whatsoever for our attempt at creating an infrastructure to begin billing for Medi-Cal and private insurance.
You want to add anything, Assistant Superintendent Chang?
No, you covered it. All right, Superintendent covered
I
it.
mean, what I know, this goes back to a few years ago, the state legislature passed laws in theory to make it easier for school districts like ours to bill Medi-Cal and private insurance for both behavioral health, wellness centers, counselors, and any medical, which I think the medical mostly is related to students with IEPs. Does this cover both the behavioral health portion of that and the physical health, or is it mostly the behavioral health?
Mostly behavioral health. IEPs are being covered by Medi-Cal, which we are already doing. So this is in addition to that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know, again, mostly through my advocacy work, we added counselors because they're desperately needed with one-time money, and this is the state's hoped-for solution to backfill that in a long-term way. But every time I've gone to many presentations and how much money will that be and what can we expect? Everybody's like, well, we have to start doing it and find out it will be significant. But I haven't been able to find anybody at our level or any other that can actually nail it down. But I know the County Office of Ed is leading an effort, and I believe this item makes our district formally part of that effort. There are a few districts, mostly large ones, that are rolling their own, standing up their own staffing around this. That does not seem wise from my point of view, but if I've said anything incorrect, please set me straight. I won't be embarrassed.
No, you're right. I mean, I believe there's only one districts that are going on their own right now, and I'm not going to mention the name, but most of the districts are joining the County Ops Consortium for the billing purposes, yeah.
I can imagine a huge district like LA or, might have sufficient scale to do it on their own, but that isn't us.
Well, and that's, Medi-Cal is a whole nother animal. So, as far as that goes.
Okay.
So my understanding is then we're not paying for anything right now because of the grant, even though we don't know all the ins and outs of the grant money. But we're adding 70,000. So that's a new cost to us to build this out, correct?
Paid for by the grant.
Well, that is.
Right.
All of this is paid for by the grant.
That's helpful. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you. So that said, do we have a motion on this item? Thank you, Trustee Munson. Do we have a second? Somebody? Second. Thank you, Trustee Altman. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Okay, that passes unanimously then. We will move to 3A, the affiliation agreement with Biola University. Trustee Altman, you had a question or comment
Yeah,
on
my
this?
apologies. As normally I would have just sent in an email asking it, but I was off the grid most of the time. I'm curious how many participants were expecting housing will become an issue. And I'm the proud aunt of an incredible teacher who did go to Biola, but it's also far, far away.
So we currently have one student teacher who would like to work in our district, and housing is not an issue for this particular person. But the reason this is coming forward is because she has approached us to work with us.
Okay, so it's probably looking at one resident's child who's at Biola. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct.
Sorry for having to pull that. I move that we approve this.
Okay, thank you for the motion. We have a second. Thank you, Trustee Munson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? None, that passes unanimously. Okay, moving right along. Item 3B, new job description, construction project coordinator. You had a question on that, Trustee Altman?
Are we going to be reassigning someone from a lower paying job into this position, or is this creating a new job?
We indicated the background and the rationale in the actual item. And so what this is doing is allowing us to convert an existing supervisor into the coordinator position. The difference of doing that is approximately $23,000. $17,000 of that is salary, and the rest are statutory benefits. And just a reminder to the board and also to our community that this position is paid for by the bond. So it's not out of the general fund.
Does that answer your question, Trustee Altman?
It does, and I'm just at this point, given understanding, even though it's coming from the bond, we could also use the bond money at site, so I'm opposed to this move in our current financial, what we're going to be looking at with the budget, so I wanted to pull it so I could vote no.
Okay, that said, do we have a motion?
I do have one question on it. Once the bond money is gone, does this position go away, or are we going to still be responsible for this position?
The positions would go away.
Okay, do we have a motion on this item? So Vice President Andrade moves to approve the item. Do we have a second? Thank you, Trustee or Clerk Northrop Gaddis. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? I know it's Trustee Altman. Any others?
No.
So Trustee Altman, Trustee Gardner, any other opposed? Okay, so that passes by 5-2. Thank you all very much. Okay, we are on Section K, the Annual Charter School of Morgan Hill Oversight Review and Charter School Presentation. Yeah. Dr. Julie Aguirre Jacinto will introduce this item.
Good evening. I'm here to provide a brief summary of our annual review of the Charter School Morgan Hill. In March 2025, Educational Services conducted the annual oversight visit and document review, which fulfills our responsibility as the school's authorizer. Overall, the school continues to maintain transparency and compliance across most areas. Highlights include strong academic and attendance outcomes on the California Schools Dashboard, an instructional focus on project-based learning and the science of reading, and sound fiscal practices. School staff also shared the school's continued efforts to expand outreach and enrollment practices to better reflect the demographics of the district. Recommendations were provided in several areas, such as formalizing governance training documentation, strengthening English learner program transparency, and embedding all required safety elements into the comprehensive school safety plan. With that, I'd like to introduce charter school staff, who will now present the school's annual update to the board.
Good evening, trustees and Superintendent Garcia. Thank you for this opportunity to be here and give you an update on some of our programs. I also just wanted to acknowledge we have gone through the report, and most of those items we have already addressed, and a few of them are going to occur either this summer or early fall. So we started with a slide just to give an update on enrollment. The blue indicates our current enrollment at each grade level, and the green indicates how many at each grade level are currently on our wait list. Next slide was some of our student data. As we know, these have been recurrent conversations, and we are consistently making attempts to increase our populations of SED, English learners, and students with disabilities. And we have made some inroads there, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we dig into this presentation a little bit. This slide provided just some demographic data over the past few years, also comparing with the Morgan Hill Unified Territorial Boundaries. Quite honestly, not a lot of growth in some of these areas. And again, this continues to be an area of focus for us, and we'll touch a little bit on that as well. Wanted to just take a moment to highlight our amazing staff. We currently have 33 teachers on board, 12 instructional aides, 21 support staff. And wanted to just briefly give you an idea of our LCAP goals. So next slide. Our first goal is all about project-based learning and universal design for learning. PBL is, part of it's one of our pillars of our mission and something that we have stayed true to since our inception. And so we continue to prioritize that. Next slide, please. This was a little plug for UDL. UDL, we have been implementing and prioritizing since just before COVID. The only student group to show growth last year in both academic areas were our students with disabilities. So that was a little plug for UDL and our commitment to that, and also a shout out to our team and our inclusion program. Next slide, please. As said, PBL, that's what the charter school was built on, and that's what we continue to pride ourselves on. We focus on writing and implementing gold standard projects. And what does that mean? It starts with a challenging question or problem. Students explore open-ended questions, which makes their learning meaningful and engaging. An ideal gold standard project provides sustained inquiry in real-world context. It offers student voice and choice, where students can really take ownership of their projects and bring in their own ideas. And it ends with some type of public product and reflection. And that's an opportunity for them to share their work with an authentic audience. Next slide, please. Our second LCAP goal centers around facilities and updates. As you all know, we have just undergone a major construction project. Next slide, please. We have completed a new administrative building, a new classroom a new classroom building that houses 9 classrooms, a student center. We updated our kinder wing. Our kinder classrooms now have bathrooms. We modeled our first grade wing, our parking lot, and have done some updates to our security. Still pending, our barn is in process currently as we speak. We also are going to be installing a K1 playground and a shade structure, hopefully over the summer. Goal 3 centers around academic growth. This is just a snapshot from the dashboard. Math has been a goal and will continue to be a goal for us this next year. Next slide, please. And goal 4 is our focus on school-wide activities, family engagement, and attendance. We have a strong community at the charter school, and we don't take that for granted, so we continue to prioritize opportunities to bring our community together. Next slide, please. Some of the things that occurred this past year, we did a parent perception survey, and I'll share a little bit about that in a moment. We continually give student surveys. We do those twice each year. Each teacher conducts those. We, this past year, moved our website to Parent Square, so all of our communication is taking place in from one place. And as I mentioned, our school-wide events that really build our community, our Back to School Fiesta, Back to School Day, Trunk or Treat, World Read Aloud Day, our talent show, and our Family Fun Festival. Next slide, please. We did see some attendance improvement from 23 to 24, which we are pleased about. It still continues to be a huge focus for us. Next slide, please. As mentioned, we conducted a parent perception survey this year. Next slide. Out of just under 400 families, we had 169 responses, so 42%. We were pleased that most are satisfied with their overall experience at Charter School of Morgan Hill. Next slide, please. Our strengths that were reported on the survey are our strong sense of community and belonging, project-based learning, high parent involvement and collaboration. Parent participation is another one of our pillars. Our rich enrichment programs, communication, and our focus on developing the whole child. Next slide, please. Some of our opportunities for growth. Concerns were expressed about behavior, safety, and discipline. Questions about supervision that we are addressing. Transparency and communication. There were some comments about when something happens on campus, if a police car is on campus or some type of medical emergency, parents feel that they want to know what's going on in a more timely manner. So that came up consistently in the survey. Some academic challenges. Parents reported some concerns about skill gaps in math. So as said, that will continue to be a focus for us this year. Families expressed the desire to continue to rebuild parent engagement and also enrichment, as did all of yours. Things really changed for us during COVID, and parents are seeking more of the arts and music programs that we had prior to COVID. And charter renewal is coming up. Next slide, please. So we are working on our renewal this summer. We will be hopefully submitting it to Morgan Hill Unified School District at the end of September. At the end of November, the district has 60 days to hold a public hearing, and then within 90 days, so that will happen sometime in the December-January timeframe, you will approve or deny our petition. Next slide, please. We also wanted to update you on a big transition that's occurring with the charter school of Morgan Hill right now. Paige Krzyzewski, who was not only one of our founders, but has been the principal and then moved into the executive director role. So she's been with the school for 20 years. She is going to be stepping down, and she is going to be taking on a different role as CFO of the school. I have been the principal for the past 12 years. I will be continuing in that role, also adding on CEO responsibilities. And we have an assistant principal who is already in place, and she will be moving into that role full-time next year. And I think that is all for me. So any questions?
Colleagues, any questions or comments?
So in addition to being the principal, it says to add on the CEO responsibilities. What are some of those responsibilities that are being added on?
Well, those are responsibilities that currently the executive director holds. So we're basically going from 2.5 administrators to 2 administrators, if that makes sense. So right now, my focus is, has been primarily on teachers, students, curriculum, that kind of thing. So I will be taking on more of the charter, regulation, law, the other parts of the role that have been in Paige's job description.
So you're absorbing her position as well as yours?
Correct.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Part of her focus these past few years, a large part of her focus has been on construction. And now that our construction project has wrapped up or is close to wrapping up, there's no longer a need for, that much dedication to that.
Thank you.
Trustee Altman?
Thank you very much for the report. I'm curious, it's been a stubborn, persistent problem forever, but trying to be more reflective of the community demographics, in particular socioeconomically disadvantaged, where you guys are running under 9% and the district's running over 41%. What efforts are you making to reach out to this particular subgroup?
Our efforts have been basically focused on, we do mailers, we target different preschools in the area. One other area that we have attempted to work on, we've been in conversation for 2 years with the district about busing. Pre-COVID, we had a bus and ran our own bus. And then once COVID hit, we were not able to get it back up and running, and now with all the emissions requirements, it's no longer viable. And so for the past 2 years, we've been in conversation with Morgan Hill Unified, but they have not been able to staff enough bus drivers to help us, because we do feel like that would be an area that would really help us.
A follow-up, what do you see as the barriers? Do you think transportation is your largest barrier? And when we have extra bus drivers, I don't ever see that happening. We can consider throwing one your way. But do you think that's the major barrier, or do you have other thoughts as to what the barriers are for having a more representative population?
So I think that's one barrier. I think another barrier is our lottery. And we have made adjustments where 10% of our incoming kinder spots are set aside for SED students. They also get a 2-to-1 ratio in the lottery. Once, there's not a lot of turnover in other grades, so it's difficult for students to get in once we're past that kindergarten age. So the lottery is definitely an obstacle.
Other questions or comments? Trustee Gardner, please.
I was just going to say thank you for the presentation. It was great, and really appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pfefferlin. Best third grade teacher ever for my son. I just have 3 questions, but in lieu, I can email them to you. They're me questions, not we questions, so.
Okay. Anyone else? Trustee Northrop Gaddis, please.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I kind of was curious what Trustee Altman, along what Trustee Altman was talking about. Do you have new strategies that you're looking to implement to increase enrollment among English learners and students with disabilities?
So one thing I did want to point out, it's not majorly higher, but it's a little bit higher. Our percentage, because I think the numbers were taken from early last year, our percentage was a little bit higher because we do serve 72 students with disabilities, and so it was 11% versus the number that was initially reported. Quite frankly, we have a new person that's going to be moving into, we have a new person that's going to be moving into the role of outreach. We're constantly looking, open to ideas. So we recognize that it needs to happen. And as someone mentioned, it has been a long-going conversation. And certainly we know, we're still trying to explore. I don't have any exact strategies to tell you right now.
Thank you. Anything else? Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll say thank you for your report.
Thank you.
And I thought we were going to congratulate Paige on her retirement, but it sounds like she's only half retiring. You're part-tireman? All right, we'll move along here. Next item is K2. This is an approval of Advanced Placement English Language and Composition textbook. We had the first reading at our last meeting, so hopefully this will be quick.
Yeah, correct. So on June 10th, Mr. Q.A. Nguyen, a teacher of the Live Oak, because if I don't say it, I'll get backlash about that, presented this textbook, Ideas and Argument, and tonight we come back seeking your approval for this textbook.
Any questions on this item? Trustee Gardner?
I guess I could just vote no or abstain. I haven't had a chance, in all fairness, we got it 2 weeks ago, and I have not had a chance to look at it yet. So I feel that, I'm sure you have a reason for your timeline, but it's a bit crunched for me. So I'm going to either have to abstain or say no.
Okay, any other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
I motion that we approve the textbook. I was actually able to get into it with my professor account from the publisher, so the reading selections are well done, and they prepare students for college-level writing, AP. So I motion that we approve it.
So you, the college English teacher, you're very excited about these students coming to you? Oh, very good. Okay, thank
Argument
you
and
for the
debate.
motion. Do we
Argument
have-
and debate,
Do
Miss-
we have a second? Thank you, trustee Northrop Gaddis. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. No, we have one abstention. Any other opposing or abstaining? Okay.
Thank you.
Item K3, approval of the reading difficulties risk screener for grades K through 2. Also an item we saw at our last meeting. This is the second read and approval. Oh, presentation?
Very short reminder.
Very short one. Okay.
I don't. I can speak
Maybe if you had a
without.
third laptop?
I can speak to it without the presentation.
You have it in your head, you can just tell us.
Yes, well, as we discussed at the last meeting, the state of California is now requiring that all school districts screen students in grades K2 for a risk of reading difficulties. The district went through an evaluation process to look at the three of, there were four, but we evaluated three potential screeners. And the evaluation committee and the elementary curriculum council both recommend that the district move forward with Multitudes. And so tonight we would like to request that the board vote to adopt Multitudes as the reading difficulty risk screener for Morgan Hill Unified.
Thank you. Trustee Almond,
Make a motion.
please.
I move that we adopt the reading difficulties risk screener Multitudes for adoption.
Thank you, and I heard somebody speaking to me over here. Okay, thank you. Trustee Munson for the second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? That passes unanimously. Item K3, the exciting title, J13A Attendance Apportionment. I'm sure Assistant Superintendent Chang can turn that into English for us.
Thank you, President Horner. Yes, the administration is requesting approval of the J13A form. This is to request the state to restore the loss of ADA that occurred back in September of 2024 due to the social media threat that was occurring at the time. So once it's approved, form is approved by the board, we send it to the county for certification, and then send it to the state for additional review.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Trustee Munson is motioning there. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Excuse me. Thank you, Trustee Marquez. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, we will move to K5, approval for applying for federal grants to support the federal addendum and LCAP. Back to you, Assistant Superintendent Chang.
Yeah, so this is the
At
petition.
least that's what my notes said.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay. We'll take turns. On June 10th, we presented the LCAP along with a host of other documents. One of those documents was the federal addendum, which is how we provide our strategy to the federal government for the use of categorical funding. And those are Title I, Title II, and Title III. Tonight, we're bringing a petition to the board for us to apply for those funds. And you will see in your board packet and the rationale, the amount for those categorical programs.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion? Oh, Trustee Munson is on the ball tonight. Second from Vice President Andrade. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed to money, please say no. Okay, no one's opposed to money. That passes unanimously. Now we have Assistant Superintendent Jimenez returning again. Here we are, approval of the 2025-26 Local Control Accountability Plan. and related documents. Again, we saw these just 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whenever that was.
Yeah, June 10th, so it's been a little bit. So on June 10th, we presented both the LCAP, the budget overview for parents, the local indicators, and the federal addendum. Since that time, since the June 5th posting of the agenda, we did have sent a survey to all our families so that we can get additional feedback, one more round. And since then, we only received 4 comments and not necessarily questions. And so we've taken those comments in consideration along with all the other feedback. Tonight, we're asking for your approval of both LCAP for 25-26 and all the accompanying documents, including the budget overview for parents, the federal addendum, and the self-reflection indicators.
Any questions, comments, or motions?
Thank you so much, Trustee Mudd. I move that we adopt the LCAP for 25-26.
Who knew motions could be so much fun? Thank you, Trustee Almond. Do we have a second? Thank you, Trustee Munson. Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? That passes unanimously. I like these second reads. They go quickly usually. Okay, we're on item 7. I'm going to take a quick 4 or 5 minute stretch and bio break. This one will probably be a little bit longer, if that's okay. Huh? You don't want a break?
Yeah, you want to take a break.
I said I'm thinking of taking a break, and Assistant Superintendent Chang is like, no break. I'm like, what? He's like, I've been waiting. Derek, I'm used to seeing you everywhere, but not in our meeting. How you doing, man?
How you doing?
Not this one. This one. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and then they have their own bus? Okay. Okay. Very good. All right, thank you. Calling us back to order at 7:24. Thank you very much. Assistant Superintendent Chang. Again, this is a item we saw at our prior meeting, but take it away.
Yes, thank you, President Horner. So tonight, the administration is requesting approval of the fiscal year 25-26 proposed budget. This budget was presented to the board on June 10, 2025. Since then, we have not made any changes to the proposed budget. The next window of opportunity to provide the board with an update is during the 45-day revision upon the state enacting their budget. So for tonight, the administration is requesting the board to approve the proposed budget that was presented on June 10th.
Okay, thank you. I just have a question on the timeline. When are we expecting, we still don't have a final state budget? When are we expecting that? Is it imminent or?
Prior to June 30th.
Yeah.
Prior to, so imminent, so sometime, I've never understood why the state sets the timelines the way they do. We're supposed to approve budgets on a certain timeline before they've approved the thing on top. So I expect that we will see some significant, material, I'll use the word material, changes on whatever, because then I think the governor and the legislature, sometimes they give themselves another couple weeks to like finalize it. So maybe in August? What is this? What is the 45-day window? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around the timing here.
So the state has to approve the budget by June 30th. So we're expecting that they're going to approve it hopefully by Friday. Their deadline's on Monday. But we're getting some indication that there might be an agreement by Friday. So that kicks off the 45-day revision in terms of when school districts prepare to update their board with any additional information that comes about.
And do we know when the state will take another look at, I mean, some of this is all predicated on when the tariffs started at the national level, they went, we're going to have a $12 billion deficit from tariffs. Do we know at what point they relook at that?
So there's
Probably not in July.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of factors because remember now there's some tax delays that are happening in the LA area due to the fire. That created some significant issue a couple of years ago when there was a tax delay due to the flooding. And so they're going to do a true up hopefully by January when they have all their actual data for the current year. So this is kind of a moving target for this year. But the budget they're approving by the end of June is with the best information that they have currently available at the state level.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Other questions, comments, or a motion? Trustee Altman?
I'll start with a question. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my brain around the other financing sources uses, which is on the budget, page 1, and it has a change of over 8,000%. And how did this huge swing come to be?
So recall at the last board meeting, I referenced the RDA money that we receive to go towards contributing to our maintenance account to meet the 3% requirement. In the current year, when I say current year, 24-25, that revenue was accounted in the general fund, in the maintenance account, and then there was an interfund transfer into the same account. So technically, you can't do an interfund transfer into the same account. So the change we made this year was that we record the RDA revenue in the building fund and do an interfund transfer into our maintenance account to meet that 3% requirement. So it's just a shift in accounting.
And so if we had not had this accounting shift, would there have been much change? Or would there have been any change?
No, because the money is just being accounted in the building fund now rather than in the maintenance account.
Okay, thank you.
So it's a where, not a what? Is that fair to say?
It's, when I see something change 8,000%, I get really curious.
That's a fair question.
It ain't normal. Can I go on with
Please.
comments now?
Please.
So, when we were looking at the budget last year and we had to make adjustments, we were going to cut $6 million in expenses, and yet our expenses went up by almost $6 million rather than decreasing by $6 million. So I'm like, gee, this is interesting that expenses are still going up. And I was wondering, do I expect them to go down? And then I'm looking, deficit spending increased from, it is increased a little over 48% for our deficit spending in the new budget we're proposing. And so I was getting really confused, like, where's the $6 million savings if expenses are going up and our deficit spending is going up? So then I went back to the multi-year projection from June of 2024, and I saw that from what we were expected to spend this year to what is being proposed, that is a decrease of $1.54 million. And I'm thinking this is where, you can cut things, but if you're adding other things back in, you're not reducing the expenditures, nor did we seem to reduce our deficit. What am I missing? Like, if our expenses are going up, our deficit spending is going up, even if we cut 6 million, I'm assuming we added in 12 million in expenses. Is this correct, or how am I missing where the $6 million ended up?
Well, I can't recall going back to June because I haven't been here that long.
Right, but yeah, but you have access to the multi-year projection, or I can share it with you.
Yeah, that would be great for me to review that and provide you with a clarity answer.
But, and this is where I see, okay, this is where I would assume we would see that $6 million being reduced, is from the multi-year projection to what we're actually talking about adopting.
If I may step in for a second, Assistant Superintendent Chang, can you remind the board about the block grant money?
Yes, so the one-time block grant money is called the Student Support Professional Development Discretionary Block Grant. This was the money that was proposed by the state in January, which for us came out to about $2.3 million. It was one-time money. At second interim, when we received this information, we accounted for the revenue to be booked in the restricted general fund. And to offset that, we had to transfer the same amount of expenditures from the unrestricted general fund into the restricted general fund to utilize that money. Come May revise, that proposal is still on the board, on the table with the state. The amount got reduced a little bit. It was 2.3 at second interim, at May revise, and part of the budget development, it dropped to about 2.1. Because there's no restricted resources that has been assigned to that funding source, we accounted for that money in the fiscal year 25-26 in the unrestricted general fund. And so by doing that, we had to move the expenditure back from the restricted into the unrestricted side. So it's a little bit confusing if you're trying to follow it from one reporting period to another, but it's accounted for in our multi-year assumption that we presented at both interim and at budget adoption. Any questions?
Okay, that's still not going to add up to 6 million, so does it?
Well, we provided details in terms of all the positions that we've eliminated or
Right, yeah.
reduced.
No,
Yeah.
I totally understand that things have been cut, but I'm just saying more's been added, and so we're not realizing that net, yeah, I mean, I cut from my budget all the time, and then I keep spending more because, I save money here, so I'm going to go out and buy this. So it seems that's kind of the situation we're in. Did you by any chance, do you have the numbers for what we'll have to be looking at, reducing, cutting from our budget in order to stay on 10% for 3 years?
Before I get into that, I do want to provide some additional clarification in terms of the reference to the deficit spending. Part of that is also as a result of us using the lower TK add-on rate. Because remember, at second interim, we used the proposed TK add-on rate, which was $6,404. At May revised, under the advisement of the county office, we reduced that amount to $3,400, I believe. So it was almost half a drop in revenue. If the governor or the state approved the higher rate, we'll provide that additional information during the 45-day revision. But in terms of doing an analysis to meet the 10%, there's so much variable right now that we would have to use a lot of assumptions. So because of that, we have not ran that scenario yet.
So that's something we could look forward to, hopefully at the first interim,
Yes.
when the governor decides, hopefully, and the state legislature decides what on earth we're doing. And that'll all change, of course, about 12 more times, right? I mean, I recognize that budgeting is a very inexact science.
It's very fluid, yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I move that we adopt.
Thank you, Vice President Andrade. Do we have a second? Thank you, Trustee Marquez. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining?
As I feel we're not on track to meet our targets, I oppose.
Okay. Okay, so trustees Gardner, Altman, and Munson vote no. So that passes by a 4-3 vote. Okay, item 8, the fiscal year 2025-26 expenditure plan for the education protection account. Back to you, Assistant Superintendent Chang, to once again make this into English. Please.
Thank you, President Horner. So the administration is requesting approval for the education protection account. Just a little background, EPA is a component of the local control funding formula. For next year, we're estimating to receive about $1.5 million. And our plan is to use this money to pay for teacher salaries.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do we have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Munson. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you, Trustee Altman. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Please say no. Abstaining? None? Okay. Move to item 9. I'm going to pass down here in this way, send a few down, and then we can have some at the end of the table. This is the consideration of an approval of the amendment to the term of the superintendent's employment contract. This, took some time to get through our lawyer, even though it's the world's shortest amendment. Anyone wants to see a copy, there'll be some down there at the end, but I mean, The salient item is that under term, the July 1, 2024, under the previous contract is changed to 2025, and the termination date is changed from 2028 to 2029. So simply amending the existing contract, except as modified herein, all remaining terms and conditions of the existing agreement remain in full force and effect.
Question?
Sure.
Can the website be updated once the amendment is made to have current dates on it?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes. I saw Dr. Garcia nod yes, so that means yes. Any other questions or comments? And if there are none, a motion?
I motion that we.
Okay, thank you, Vice President Andrade. Do we have a second? Thank you, Trustee Marquez. I think on this one, we're scheduled to have a roll call vote. Estrada?
Call for a roll call vote. Trustee
Yeah.
Andrade?
Aye.
Trustee Northrup Gaddis? Trustee Marquez? Trustee Munson? Trustee Gardner?
Nay.
Trustee Altman?
No.
Trustee Horner?
Aye. Okay, that motion carries by a vote of 4-3. Item L, new business, future agenda items. Do we have any requests for information or future agenda items? Or is everybody ready for July?
Put him on last meeting.
Anything? Sorry?
Oh, the Allen bill.
It's a request for update on the, yeah, we can't discuss it here now, but a request for further updates on the teacher and other staff, and Allen Bill requested transfers, kind of where we're at on that. So perhaps in one of your future reports. Anything else? Seeing none, we will move on to pupil and personnel. Item M1, a recommendation for readmission of student R2425-007. Both of these items we discussed in closed session. So it's only here for a motion without naming any names. Trustee Altman.
I move that we approve the recommendation for readmission of the student.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Who is it? Thank you, Trustee. This is my bad ear, I'm sorry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, we'll move to M2. Recommendation for readmission of student R2425-008. Thank you, Trustee Munson. I think Trustee Marquez got ahead of you on that one. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, I'll say thank you, and at 7:41, we are adjourned.
The sun is still out. I can't go outside. You gotta wait till the sun sets.
I highly recommend a walk around the building. I got 2 in on our short break.
Take the sweater off if you're gonna walk outside. You need some sunshine on those arms.